to the Wednesday edition of the Business Power Hour with Darren, Dimples, and the Music Man. Me. Hey, Dimps.
Hey, Mr. Music Man.
What's
How you
up,
doing
buddy?
this
What's
evening?
going on?
How are you?
Well, good. What's up? Two ladies. This is a true story. These two ladies at a network meeting came over to me, and he said, your show was really good, but we missed Dimples. Good evening, everybody. I just got the finger from Jim.
It's all part of the story.
Right.
Hey, everybody. It's Darren from the Business Power Hour. I'm not going to be in the studio tonight. I'm traveling.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man, except Darren's not here.
I'm here.
No,
I'm
you're
right
not
here.
Does anybody see that? Darren is not here. Darren is away.
I am right here, right
Quiet
next
for
to
a
you.
second. You're not here. What? I don't know if you got lucky.
Not the really interesting question.
That's a fantastic question, Norman.
Wow. See, I got fantastic. You just got good. I got fantastic.
Show's about him, so let's focus on that. Were you drinking before the show?
Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus!
There we go. We got it.
It's good.
No, it's
Now we got a flood.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
smother it.
So, I think this has a music thing.
It's making noise.
It's making music.
Is it?
Yeah. That's so sweet. That's so sweet of you, Darren.
By the way, this is a Yankee station.
It's a
Thank
Yankee
you.
station. John,
Thank
it's a Yankee station.
All right.
Unfortunately,
We got bugs in here. What's going on?
I don't know.
Do you spray? Get
You
an
know what?
exterminator?
It's that time of year where you're getting bugs and stuff. As long as we don't have bees, I'm good.
Yeah, all right. That's
But
We have a lot of undulations out in the field. Undulations.
Is that a wine?
no,
What the hell is undulation?
Fred, don't use big words. Hey, you right? So this.
Help.
I gotta give him a cough button, Jim. What do you think?
Cough
Because-
button would be good. Right? Consider that a good question that he asked.
Great question.
There you go. I got
Pythons and brains.
I
It
got,
has a lot of undulations.
You're double D?
I'm double D.
Field. Undulations.
Is that a wine?
Show's about him. So let's focus on that. Fred, don't use.
Hey, give me some loving.
How are you, Music Man?
Hello, Darren. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm
this week.
absolutely convinced. I'm absolutely convinced that
telling
you
you.
got some kind of brain damage when you had that thing last year.
I'm telling you, and he called. And
Not classy, but classy.
Seeing interviews by Darren and the Music Man. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Siafe and Norman Wasserman.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man. Darren, you look like you're starstruck.
Well, you know, my lighting, I didn't spend enough time setting up my lighting, so I guess, is that better?
No.
How about
There you
now?
go. That's better. There you go.
Better?
You gotta get
Okay.
that nice Italian complexion.
There you go. Hey, I got
No.
that, that olive oil skin. You know what I mean?
But not right now, you don't. Now it's nice and bright. Your skin's
It's
nice,
nice and bright, right?
nice like
Is it-
moisturizer. You got moisturizer on your face, or whatever you want to call it.
How's that?
There you go. What a start.
Much better? Much better?
Merry
So-
Christmas. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
And to everybody who watching the show tonight, we thank you for coming.
We thank you for being here. And it's, well, as we know, it's my favorite night of the month. It is. Go ahead, Norm.
Give Back Wednesday.
It's Give Back Wednesday, which, you know what? I love Give Back Wednesday. So how was your week, my friend?
Busy, hectic. It's fine. It's good. We booked a couple
Good.
more shows.
Wow.
For next year. So that's nice. We got Motown coming up. Actually, that's going to be in February. We got a nice Motown show.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been asking for some Motown groups, so we're going to give it to them. And we're just, getting ready to rock the new year.
All right.
And yourself?
Fantastic. You know what? I'm getting ready. You know what? We're going to have a quiet Christmas Eve and a quiet Christmas Day. We're just going to cut down on the amount of people. But, other than that, because of the COVID situation, the places we normally go, we're not going. So that's disappointing. But at the same time, everybody's healthy. So that's a good thing.
And then they should stay that way. And I wish everybody would listen
to what it is that you're actually saying and talking about, because we need that.
Yes.
There's too much stuff, and it's getting worse now with the second one that's hitting us, and now this one's supposed to be a really bad for kids. That's the good. You got the good light. Don't move. Don't change your light now.
Now I
There
got
you
the
go.
good light.
Okay, now I can see the dimples. The dimples look good. It's good. We're all set. Speaking of which, we have a really special show tonight.
Yes, we do.
And part of this show, I'm sure, is going to affect a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And we're going to let Adam, the representative from Connecting Our Paths Eternally, explain what their organization is all about. But we're going to try to keep it a little bit on the light side if we possibly can. But we're good.
Well, the reality is his organization does a lot of good for people that are going through.
There you go. You
very
got it.
tough times.
Right.
And that's why he's here. He's here to let everybody know that when you are going through tough times, there is alternative ways to help you through it. So, Adam, welcome to the show. We really appreciate
Adam
you being here.
Rabinovich.
Tell
Thanks
us a
to
little
Darren.
bit.
Thank you, Norman. Yes, Darren
Yeah.
and the Music Man. Thanks for having me on behalf of Connecting Our Paths Eternally, COPE.
What do you do for the organization?
I'm the executive director of COPE, which is a nonprofit grief and healing organization. And we're focused on supporting parents and families who are living with the loss of a child. And in the introduction, you were talking about hard times that people go through, Darren, and I just want to point out that COPE rhymes with hope. So we're here to provide, especially during this holiday season and such a difficult, challenging year, just like you guys were both talking about as we're moving into the next wave and what seems like a dark winter, health-wise and loss-wise, that COPE is here to help provide hope for families. So thanks again for the opportunity to share.
Who's writing your material?
I work with only the best. I'm working with Darren and the Music Man. You know that?
There you go.
Well, we know he's not coming from you, Norm. So,
Yeah, we kind of like know that.
no, but Adam, in all seriousness, tell us about COPE and the different services that you offer for the people that are in need of your services.
So COPE is moving into our 22nd year of impact. Long Island founded, focused, and certainly this year we found need and an opportunity to help people across New York State and beyond. Our ways of meeting the needs of grieving parents and families fall into, I'd say, three main areas. One is that we offer support groups with licensed clinical social workers in each of them. So these are facilitated support groups. We have them for parents, we have them for siblings, and we even have them for teens. So if you're a mom who's living with the unimaginable loss of a child, for example, we can connect you with the help of a licensed clinician to meet other parents who are in this club that no one wants to belong to. Another area that we're focused on is providing programs and workshops, everything from mindfulness and meditation to yoga. We're even doing this online, and we've had a lot of people sign up for our programs through Zoom and Facebook this year. And a third area is how we help kids who are living with the loss of a loved one. And each year, and we hope to get back to it in 2021, depending on when we get our vaccines and we can bring everyone together, we host a camp called Camp Erin NYC. And every August we bring together an amazing group of 50 or 60 kids aged 6 to 17 who have lost a loved one. And they get a chance to connect with others who are in that same club. And they also get a great summer camp experience. Those are some of the ways that we're meeting families' needs.
Okay, so are you working in a specific region for the most part, or are you national?
Yeah,
How does COPE work?
we're figuring our way out, especially through this this online virtual world. So the founders who started COPE in the 1990s, all diehard Long Islanders, came together after the loss of their than adult children, and leaned on each other in informal settings, living rooms, kitchens. You can imagine just being there for each other, and then started a network and ultimately a nonprofit, a charity. So many of the families that we've been supporting over the last 21 years are Long Islanders. We have programs that have been running in the 5 boroughs in New York City. And now through Zoom and so-called telehealth, we've been connecting with families across New York State. And for our workshops, we're working with families who are in almost all 50 states, and even getting some interest from folks internationally as well. So I'm here to tell families and others who are listening in the audience that in crisis there is opportunity. So we're connecting with more families in more ways than ever before.
Now, your headquarters is located in Westchester County, is that correct?
No, we're Nassau County headquartered. Many of our support groups are across Nassau and Suffolk. We've done some partnership work in Westchester, a lot of work in Manhattan, starting in Queens as well. And the camp that we run is actually in the Pocono Mountains, and many of the campers and their families are coming from some of the toughest, most impoverished parts of New York City and beyond.
Well, tonight
So
you're gonna
Adam,
be
if somebody wanted more information about the programs that you have, how could they get that information?
Yeah, so families can connect directly with us at copefoundation.org, and I'll make sure that everyone has that information at hand. And we are 24/7, so you can send an email, make a phone call, get connected to us, and we're here for you. As I say, we're waiting until we can all come back together in a safe, healthy way once physical distancing is over. But in the meantime, every day, every week, we're online and helping families who are living with the loss of a child or a loved one.
So if somebody wanted to give, okay, and what I mean by give is very simply this: somebody is, you know, I'm not in need of your services, but I want to help. And I want to either donate my time, or I want to, you know, give you money. Can I do that through your website? How would I go about getting in touch with you to say, hey, you know what? I want to be a part of this. I want to help out. My friend lost a child, and, you know, I helped them through it, and I think I can help other people through it.
Absolutely. And we're all about connections, Darren. So thanks for that question and the opportunity to connect others to this mission. So we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for folks to get involved, partners and investors and donors. Again, we're a nonprofit, so every dollar that you donate and invest into COPE goes directly to help families living with the loss of a child or a loved one. Your audience members and anyone who gets a hold of this link should remember that no one has to grieve alone, and we're here to make sure together that no one has to. Folks can go onto our website, that's copefoundation.org. You can learn more about our programs, our services, our resources, how to volunteer, and equally importantly, how to donate. And again, those donations are helping families every day, not only the families that count on us today, but those that inevitably will need us in the future.
Adam, when somebody should go through a loss, and I can't even imagine the grief and what one goes through, having 3 healthy daughters, what is the process? How does one, besides picking up the phone or making a contact, that's given, what is the process for somebody? What do they do? Is there certain things that you have to line up and get started first for oneself? What do you do?
That's a great question. And we're working with and supporting families, parents and siblings and others at every step in their grief journey. So some folks are connecting with us very early on, days, weeks after the loss of a loved one. Some are joining our network, this club that no one wants to belong to, later on, years into their loss. A first step is to connect with us through our website. We have a team, as I mentioned, of licensed clinical professionals. They'll have an intake, a conversation with a family member, get to know them, get a sense of where they're at. And then the next step would be to join nowadays in Zoom in a secure safe space online, a support group, peer-to-peer with a professional in the room, and then they're able to join multiple groups, multiple family meetings, and they can drop in and drop out as long as they would like. We're always here for them. Some of the families that we're supporting have been together as a support group, a support network for 10 years. We know that grief and loss is not something that you get over, so it's really more about having the tools that you need to support. And then we also have a whole other bunch of programs currently online that you don't even need an intake for. You can connect with me, connect with COPE. You'll get an opportunity to register and join one of our programs online. They're all free to join. We do a lot of fundraising so we can support the families that count on us. And copefoundation.org is one of the places to connect. Also on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter as well.
So Adam, how many families how many families are you dealing with on average?
Yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with 10 families, 100 families, we want our listeners to know that they're not alone, number one, and that there are a lot of other families out there that are going through the same things that they're going through. We all, and this is just by human nature, we all think that when something is going bad in our lives, that it's not, nobody else is going through it. And sometimes people get stuck because of it. And I know what you want to do with COPE is let everybody know that's not the case. We can help you, and we can help you get through it and live a better life than what you're living now. And it never goes back to the way it was. We understand that because of the tragic loss. But, I know you're Nassau, Suffolk, in Westchester, in New York City, you're kind of all over the place, but how many people are you guys working with?
First of all, that's so well said. Darren just hit the message the nail right on the head in terms of what we're trying to communicate. Is no one is alone in this. So I'll give you a couple of numbers to reflect on. Over the last 2 decades and counting, we've been supporting more than 1,300 families. That's Long Island and beyond. That's in a variety of ways: support groups, healing workshops, our Camp Erin NYC. Again, during COVID and social distancing, people who are in the early stages of grief, but at any stage of grief, are at risk of isolation. So we want to make sure that they know that they're connected. The support groups that we facilitate by design are meant to be intimate, safe spaces with no more than 10 or 12 family members at a time. So this really gives a chance to create those bonds and those connections. Our healing workshops can be anywhere from 60 to 100 people. We always try and keep them as intimate as possible so people are getting the support that they need. Camp Erin each year brings together between 50 to 60 amazingly resilient kids. For many of them, it's the first time they're meeting other kids who have lost a parent or a loved one. So there's that emotional bond. And again, for many of them who are living in poverty, we're working with a lot of communities of color in that case as well. It's the first time that they've gotten to do summer camp experiences, capture the flag, swimming, rope courses. And for every camper that we have in Camp Erin, there's at least one adult volunteer. So that one-to-one adult mentor supporter to a kid is pretty extraordinary and impactful. And those relationships carry forward after the camp ends as well.
So do you split the groups up by, you got a family that lost a child, and there are other children in the family. When you're doing the group activities, do you split the parents up from the kids and kind of like let kids be with other kids that are going through it? Because I would assume that the experience of a parent losing a child is different than a sibling losing a child, and there are different needs associated with that.
Yeah, again, really well said. So in the case of our support groups, parents come together, so moms and dads together in a room, a Zoom room, or hopefully soon again in person. And they're experiencing those peer-to-peer losses, moms and dads living with the loss of a child for whatever reason, death by suicide, cancer, whatever the cause of death may be, whatever age the child may have been. those parents have a common loss. Siblings, to your point, and I'm a bereaved sibling. I lost my baby sister. My parents lost a daughter at a too young age. I'm a bereaved sibling. We have support groups for siblings, which is a unique experience. So brothers and sisters who have lost another brother or sister get to come together and share their experiences. And then we have support groups for teens who may have lost a parent or a loved one, someone close to them. And those teen years especially, they need to have someone who speaks their language literally, figuratively, and can come together around a common loss. And then in the case of camp, go ahead.
I'm sorry, excuse me. When the camp takes place.
Barely hear you, Norm.
Can you hear me? Any
No.
better?
No.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Barely. I think we got to get you a new microphone, my friend.
I think I can try and read Norm's mind and maybe partly answer an open question which COPE designed about 5 years ago. We've been running our camp for kids. Those are 6 to 17-year-olds. This will be our 10th season coming up in August 2021. And about 5 years ago, we added a parent and caregiver retreat. So if your audience and you guys can imagine, as the kids are having this bereavement support and summer camp experience on one side of the lake, this is up in the Poconos, as I mentioned, their parents and their caregivers, grandparents, even aunts and uncles are getting their own bereavement support and some retreat. And then they're having a common language. The family units get to come back together and they have some common language. And in terms of their family journey, it's even strengthening the bonds within a family living with a shared loss. I don't know if that's exactly where Norm was going, but that's something that we've seen really helps to strengthen a family that's living with the loss of a child or a loved one.
Can you hear me now?
Still low, but we can hear you a little bit.
My question was going to be the counselors. Are the counselors people that have gone through this program? Or the counselors specially trained for this program? How does it work?
A little of both. So some of our counselors at camp are alum, meaning that they're kids who have now become young men or young women who want to give back. Some of them are clinicians. We call them our grief chiefs. So they are social workers, psychologists who already have a background in bereavement support, grief support, and they're there to be hands-on, so to speak, help and support during the camp experience. And then we also have a whole crew of men and women who are non-clinical, but are our bunk buddies. And those are men and women who want to volunteer, want to give back. And so with some training from COPE, they're there to give some additional kind of buddy mentorship in addition to the grief support that our professionals are giving.
Okay. I'm on your website and I'm actually looking at some of the stuff that's on here. And to me, I'm amazed, not amazed, I'm impressed by the depth of the things that are on here. I mean, you even go to the point where, you know, you're giving out other organizations besides your own to help out, right? So that's a big part of what you're doing. What's the best way to put it? It's being selfless. You guys are being selfless in the sense that it's not all about COPE. It's really about the people that need your services and say, hey, you know, by the way, if you don't want to get them through us, here's other ways of getting them. Am I right in that assessment based on what I see?
112%. You nailed it, Darren. So first of all, we're here and I'm hopefully sharing clearly for you guys in the audience, our website, copefoundation.org, with a mission to help parents and families living with the loss of a child. So our whole reason for being, our reason for existence is to support those families. As you guys know, as well as anyone, there's so much need out there, and COVID and all the loss that we've seen this year has only heightened the awareness of how much need there is. So COPE, with our resources and our track record and our professionalism and integrity, can only do so much. So everything else we need to do is through community partnerships. So if you're seeing this, and Darren highlighted this a minute ago, there's a lot of terrific community-based organizations, nonprofit organizations across the country. We're supporting families every day, particularly on Long Island and New York State, but not only. I get calls from people all the time asking, where's a Cope near me? So we try and make sure that everyone who has a need, if we can help them directly, we will. If we can't, we want to make sure that they know who to connect to in their local community. Absolutely.
Is there a cost for any of your programs?
Pardon?
Is there a cost to the end user for any of your programs, to any of the families or the bereaved?
For some of our healing workshops, there's a $10, $15 registration for some of our workshops. All of our support groups are free for families to join. Our Camp Erin program is free for kids. There's what I would call a nominal fee, although for some families, $100 to cover room and board for that camp experience for the parents is part of the equation. But for the most part, all of our programs are open to the public. Come one, come all, whoever needs us. And then we do a lot of fundraising through very generous individual donors, foundations, corporate support, Business Power Hour. People in your orbit as well have been supporters as well. And it's those folks who allow us to get to year 21 and now turning into year 22. So as I said earlier, we can be here for the families that count on us today and the families who we all know are going to need us in the future as well.
And that's why it's so important, everybody out there, that look, even if you can give $5, donate, so every dollar goes to a purpose, and it's, get out there, donate today, go to their website. They got a real easy way of doing it. Just click the button that says donate.
And if you don't have money to donate, volunteer time. That's a huge donation.
There's nothing more valuable than time, and whatever time you can give to help someone else, you're going to get that back tenfold. I truly believe that. I truly believe that with everybody. So, what we're going to do? We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dig a little bit more into some of these programs. Okay. And, find out more. We're going to take questions. So if you got some questions, please write them in the chat. I will be more than happy to relay them to Adam, and we can talk about that. So we're going to be right back right after these messages. And if Adam, if you could stop sharing, I'd appreciate that. All right. Thank you, my friend.
Small business owners, are you having trouble growing your business? Do you feel like you're always swimming upstream? Do you feel that daily tension that I can't get ahead and I don't know why? Hi everybody, my name is Darren Sayafi and I'm a business therapist. What's a business therapist? Well, some people call us coaches, some people call us advisors, other people even call us strategists. We take a vested interest in you and your personal development as a person and as a business owner to give you the tools and structure that you need to take it to that next level. So don't wait. Give me a call today for your free consultation and let me show you how you can help yourself.
Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me better?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, Norm. It's the last couple of weeks we've been having that issue with you.
I don't know.
I don't know. Now it's good. No, it's good.
I have an extra speaker on my desk, and I was playing around before and trying to do it, and I turned it on, and that's why I was asking if it made a difference. But okay, let's get back to Adam.
So Adam, one of the things I want to dig into a little bit, and and again, going back to Camp Erin. When did Camp Erin start? When did you have the idea of, hey, you know what? Let's take these kids away, give them an experience they've never had before, and kind of let them, I guess, and I'm assuming, you got to fill me in. I'm assuming it's really so they can kind of get away and figure out, number one, how to deal with things, but not always have that burden on their shoulders in an outside environment from what they're used to.
Yeah, so let me take us back just to go forward for a second. And I'm a Yankees fan, so I won't get involved in case you and the music
No,
man.
this is a Yankee station, by the way.
That's what I thought from some of your promos. So Jamie Moyer and his family, more than probably about 15 years or so ago, former Major League Baseball player, met a young woman named Erin who was fighting for her life and ultimately lost her fight. But during that fight, she said to Jamie and his then wife and to their family that her vision was that there could be an experience for kids and families that are living with the loss of a loved one, so that her legacy could sustain. And so the then Moyer Foundation, now called the Eluna Network, ELUNA for any of your audience who might want to check them out, started a national network with a vision that every city, every area that has a Major League Baseball franchise would also have a bereavement support camp named Camp Erin. So today we are one of many. We're one of the first, but not by a long shot, one of the only Camp Erins across the country. And so you could be in Philadelphia, you could be in California, you could be almost anywhere in the United States of America, and there's a Camp Erin for kids who are as you said, looking to connect with others like them, meaning others who are living with that loss. And so we joined the network going on 10 years ago. We're a proud partner of the Eluna Network. We work with a lot of other great organizations, hospitals and hospices across the country who are the hosts of these camps throughout the almost 50 states.
So how did you find the Eluna Network, or how did the Eluna Network find you?
Yeah, so our founder, Lily Julian, who started the COPE vision and then the organization after the loss of her daughter, Michelle, was always looking for ways that we could expand our impact. And so about 10, 11 years ago, we connected with the Moyer Foundation, who became the Eluna Network a couple of years ago. And we realized that we already had this network of families who counted on us and we were supporting. So the open question was, what more could we do? And so we started talking to the national network, a bit of an interview process, get to know you, and then we became the host camp for the entire New York City metro area. So that's the 5 boroughs, Long Island, Lower Hudson Valley, Northern New Jersey, and each year, again, other than 2020 because of COVID, we bring together about 50 to 60 campers. Those families find us through schools, through counselors, through therapists, through social service agencies. We get to know the families. We make sure it's a good fit for them in terms of where the kids are at in their grief journey. If they want to join and it seems like the right fit, they immediately become a Camp Erin camper. And if their parents or caregivers would like to join the retreat, we sign them up as well.
That's fantastic. You know, it's amazing how, and it just, again, it goes to show that you're working with other agencies. It's just not about you. A lot of times these agencies start themselves and they're like, no, everything is all about us and it's ours. And that just tells me your organization, it's about what you're delivering. It's not about COPE. It's about it's about helping those that need help, and that's a tremendous thing. And that's why listeners, if you can donate time, if you can donate money, please do help these guys out the best way they can. If you know somebody that can use their services, let them know about it.
Definitely.
Don't just watch the show and say, okay, that was nice. And that's nice if they do that. But if we all know somebody, and we can pass on that information to them, and we can get them that information, and they can make the decision on whether or not they do.
You have relationships with hospitals, Adam?
Yeah, so Darren and the Music Man, you're hitting it, and I know I'm talking to the Business Power Hour, so I can give a little bit of a shout out to what it means to be a leader of a nonprofit corporation and the partnerships and the sponsorships that Darren was alluding to. So absolutely, Norman, hospitals, hospices are key partners for us, funeral homes, houses of worship, other social service and community-based organizations. To your point, our main goal, our main mission, our reason for being in existence as some of your listeners may know, a 501c3 corporation. We're a business like any other, except we're here, instead of having shareholders, we have our community stakeholders and the families that count on us. So we are here to serve families, and we're here to sustain. And that means that, like any organization and any corporation, we need to make our budget. We need to make sure that we are cash positive so that we can be here year in and year out. And we're partnering with some amazing corporations across Long Island, including Pine Lawn Cemetery and Arboretum. So if any of your listeners or audience members, as you said, Norman, if anyone knows any families, or if you're in a family that's looking for support, please reach out. The two things I always say to people is I've learned how many people already know about COPE, and also how many people don't yet need to know about us. So that's why I'm so appreciative of you inviting me onto the show, to make sure that people who need us know about us, and people who want to partner with us, whether it's a corporation, an individual, a family, a foundation, a community organization, we welcome you with open arms.
Do you have any new programs that maybe have just started within the last 6 months or a year? Maybe some things that have to do with COVID or non-COVID related? Maybe you could share with the audience. And by the way, your audience tonight is not just local, it's national.
International.
To know.
Well, I appreciate that, and that goes exactly back to your question. So again, a crisis and opportunity. So March into April, we identified, as so many people did early on, that this need was not going to go away. If anything, it was going to be heightened. So we very quickly pivoted to online support for our families. There was a little bit of a learning curve, as there has been for everyone. Not all of us could be the Business Power Hour with all the seamless editing and everything that
can't be them either sometimes.
goes on behind the scenes, but we made it happen. Our facilitators, our families, for the most part, have come on board. And it's really given us an opportunity, as you said, to reach nationally and internationally with families. So our workshops and our programs this year have included a whole new array, and I'll mention one that I know is close to Norman's heart. We put together an online concert in early October, and I got to play the Music Man for a minute, and we had a whole bunch of amazing Long Island and beyond artists and musicians, including some COPE family members who were living with the loss of a loved one, who are also musicians. And we wove together, we called it COPE Stock. It was our inaugural music get together, both a community builder and a fundraiser. So that helps us to sustain. We had 150 plus, which showed that we had an audience ready to donate, to join, to listen to some great music. And I'll make sure that you guys both have the links to all the local Long Island musicians, especially, so your audience can connect and work through Norman to book them for their next event. So yeah, we've found some opportunities in this crisis in particular. We had a COVID support group running through the summer as well. And we really are always trying to innovate, iterate, and meet people where they are. And technology has helped us in a big way this year.
Well, tell me about the Long Lost John series.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So I'm a Beatles guy. We already talked Yankees and others. I'm a Beatles guy and a Stones guy, but I'm a Beatles guy at heart. So we are working together with an amazing, accomplished Long Island-based playwright named Ed Zara, who put together a unique and, again, innovative healing series. Both Paul McCartney and John Lennon have been living, well, John not anymore, but Paul and John have lived with the loss of loved ones and parents from a very early age. So Ed and Cope have crafted together a series that brings together both the Beatles story told through the vantage point of John and Paul's losses and their life and music, and then a drama therapy component where we can use art and drama and music to bring together families and to help them heal. So kicking off in January is going to be a 5-part series. We hope that this will be the beginning of a lot more like that. We've hosted some amazing writing workshops, art workshops, again, trying to develop and provide all the tools that different family members might need at different points in their grief journeys. Long Lost John is another one that we're proud to launch in just a couple of weeks in the new year.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, and if you want more information on that program and when it's happening, go to the calendar on cope.org. So you'll be able to see that and see, and I know you're going to bring that up right now, right?
You got it. copefoundation.org. Thank you. Got it.
You'll be able to see and get more details on that, on exactly when that's going to happen. Because, like he said, it's a 5-part series. So it's January 5th, the 12th, the 19th, the 26th, and February 2nd.
See, organizations like yours are so overdue. Back in the day, I lost my mom when I was 10. There were no organizations like this around. If anything, you would go to your local religious institution and you would hopefully talk to somebody, even family members. I remember aunts or uncles, there was no one to talk to. There was no one to try to soothe you and help you cope. And what you do now is such a wonderful, wonderful service. God forbid anybody needs it. But if you do, it's just a wonderful place.
Listen, less than 30 years ago, it was still considered embarrassing to go to a therapist.
Exactly.
You know, and actually get therapy and help from somebody. You know, we were still in that, be a man phase, suck it up and, deal with it without having to really open up about it. And, it's so different now. And it's so nice to see that these things are out there for everybody, because like I said, it touches everybody. And even though, like, I may not lose a sibling, but I may lose a very close friend that feels like a family member. Because sometimes our very close friends are more like family members to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, Norman, first of all, thank you for sharing that about losing your mom. And my heart is with you. I mentioned my parents lost a child in the 70s in Westchester, where I was growing up. There was nothing like Cope for them then. It's so important. People reach out to who they need to reach out to, who they want to reach out to. As you said, Norm, clergy, rabbis, priests, imams, those are often the first touch point. We want to make sure that those folks know about us too, so we can help continue that kind of support. One of my best friends going into senior year in high school died in a car accident. I don't think there was a Cope for them as well. And Darren, to your point, changing the conversation, taking away some of the stigma that goes with grief and loss, which so many of us, if not all of us, are touched by. I'll just mention and shout out one other amazing organization, a coalition that we're part of called Evermore. Your audience can find them and learn more and get involved at live-evermore.org. I'll make sure you have the link. And this is a national coalition that's looking to and working towards and making major progress to changing not only the conversation, but also bereavement care, grief care in America. So getting Congress and the incoming administration to prioritize and make accessible resources for the kind of support that Norm, you didn't have, my family didn't have, but now families hopefully in the future can access more and more readily, not just through COPE and Long Island, but across the country.
That's fantastic. Again, it goes to show that you're just not solely focused. You have other organizations that you're working within and working with. So you'll find the right place for somebody. How often does somebody come to you and you say, hey, you know what? I have a better program that kind of fits more of what your needs are. Is that something that's common with people that come to COPE?
Yeah, really insightful question. And back to the business power hour topic. So we're in a competitive market, so to speak. So when someone loses someone close to them, they have choices. They can choose to get support. They can choose not to get support. They can choose therapy. They can choose group supports. They can choose COPE. They can choose another. So we need to make sure that we are best in class and having the most possible impact that we can. And if we can meet someone's needs, we, as I said, we a little bit earlier, we will. And if we can't, we want to make sure that they have the right fit. So yeah, some families, it's not the rule. It's been the exception where people say this program has worked better for me than COPE has, but it happens for sure, and vice versa. And we just want to make sure that people know that there are resources for them out there. And when we can be best in class, we want to make sure that we shout that from the rafters too, so that families and others know that we're here for them.
And, you know, based on our interaction and everything that you're telling me, I'm of the assumption that if somebody feels like your programs aren't working for them, they should really come to you and say, this isn't really working for me. This is what I'm lacking. Can you point me in the right direction? And my assumption is you're going to do that. You're going to say, hey, you know what? I know somebody over at this other program that may fit better or may work better for you. And you're going to make sure that they get the help that they need. Because as we all know, look, we've all tried different things, and sometimes we try something and we're like, yeah, it's not really doing it for me. And then you find, like you said, you know, there are times it's probably, you know, more the exception than the rule with COPE, but there'll be times where something doesn't fit. And instead of letting that person just, you go figure it out, I'm sure you guys are, because I look at your website and you have all these different other organizations and you have all these different other things that people can go to. They can just go to your website and say, I'm going to skip over COPE and I'm going to go somewhere else.
Definitely.
Right?
Adam, let me ask you a question. You have a phenomenal soul. That's not a question. That's a statement.
Mm-hmm.
You are very, very passionate about what it is that you're doing and how you're speaking, right? And you've been through this, so you can imagine, or you can have some sort of an idea what somebody else is going through. What in your previous life, work life, did you do, which led you also to this point where you said, I don't want business anymore. I want to help more people. I want this passion of mine to come out where I can do something for other people, you know, and maybe make those people in the world a better place. What was your work history? Was it related to what you're doing?
In ways, and I'm that I guess continues to be a work in process. But thank you both for the questions and the reflections, and I'll try and tie them together in a way that makes sense to you both and your audience. So, Darren, your point is extremely well taken, and I mentioned being in a competitive market. So, COPE, as any 501c3 nonprofit corporation, is a business, and we have what sometimes are called in the social service world clients, customers, families, individuals making choices. We have donors who make choices. Donors get to choose where they want to put their hard-earned money if they want to donate. We're coming up on the end of the tax-exempt 2020 calendar, so I encourage people to make their donations. If COPE is one of your choices, great. So to Darren's questions and points, we need to make sure that we're listening to our families, to our clients, that we're ready to hear what they say and to make adjustments as needed. So that's a customer service approach, that's a client approach, that's a family-centered approach. If we can't meet their needs, we want to know how we can help them, because we're a mission-driven corporation, a mission-driven organization. But we also want to know that there are ways that we can add more tools, add more programs, add more services in the right way to meet families' needs. So that's all about, I'll call it market research, understanding where families are at. Families may have different needs in 2021 than they did in 1999 in some ways when we started. So we need to be able to make those kinds of business decisions and course corrections, and resources and funding are always a challenge and hopefully an opportunity as well. And my background, which was in the private sector, I think Norm knows, I started my career in the music industry, which is a passion and something that's still always and will be near and dear to my heart and my soul. And I learned a lot along the way in the private sector, working in music and working in healthcare, and I've applied a lot of those lessons learned to the so-called social impact world, helping people. And so for the last 10 years, I've been committed to leading teams and supporting organizations that mean something or a lot to me, and where I see opportunity to do more, and getting to work with COPE and the families that we support, and the board members, the volunteers, the donors, and most importantly, the families that are connected to us, gives me, as the executive director, the leader of this organization, the green light that we are onto something, and there's more that we can do. So together with the Business Power Hour audience and so many others, there's a lot more we can do, because we know, as I said earlier, the need is not going to go away. There's going to be more families, more parents in 2021 and beyond who have lost a child, who are living with this kind of a loss. I want to bring my skills, my leadership, to make sure that we can be there so that no family has to grieve alone.
That is fantastic. I'm sorry. I get distracted by something on the screen here. What do you have, other than the John Lennon program that's coming up in January, do you have any other programs that are coming up?
So our online support is going to continue until we can get to a really safe, comfortable place where we can get back to in-person meetings. A couple of other things for your audience and listeners, especially those on Long Island, but not only, to be aware of. For those of you who may be in, near, or could visit Nassau County and Eisenhower Park, we host a labyrinth, which is a serene and healing memorial space for families living with the loss of a child or a loved one. We have lots of families who donate bricks and benches and come together on a regular basis as a community. We're hoping that in early January, we'll be able to have an online ceremony, a get together for folks. Usually that would happen in person, but we can't for social distancing reasons. So that's something to look forward to. All of this will be on our website. We're going to be having a lot more healing workshops and programs. Darren, thank you for highlighting the long lost John. We're going to be having some writing workshops coming up in January and into February. We're going to be music is one of my passions at this point. So we're going to be making sure that music therapy, working with Norm and some of the local and regional talent to make sure that people can come together in a community space, get together, connect, and have the chance to give back as well. So stay tuned for music, stay tuned for art, stay tuned for drama, more mindfulness and meditation, more yoga, lots of tools. If your audience members have some ideas, if you guys have some ideas, we're always open to new ideas, and we're going to have a busy calendar in 2021. That's no doubt.
And if people want to get updates, go to the website, copefoundation.org. Okay, go there. All the information is there. They have a calendar, they have a program listing, they have all the details that you need in order to get the information that you need. So, please donate money, donate time, whatever you can give is appreciated. It doesn't have to be an exact dollar amount. It could be what you can afford to give. we talk about this all the time when we have, organizations like Cope on, is, do what you can. And trust me when I say this, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself when you can donate that time to it, because I've experienced it myself.
Darren and I just bought somebody a chair.
Yes. Yeah. As a matter of fact,
you got a picture of it?
1 second. I do have a picture of it. You got to give me a second to get it up, though.
While Darren's doing that, if I could just put in a line that I think is exactly where he was going. We say a lot at COPE that the next level of healing for so many people is helping. So if you're in a process, anyone who's listening, anyone who knows someone who may be in a healing process, often we're told this is not me speaking, this is me hearing from so many family members, that giving back, as Darren said, is not the solution, but it can be a step in terms of healing. So I invite and encourage people to
it's a mitzvah.
Give back. It's a mitzvah. You can volunteer your time, your talent, your treasure, as we say. Donations are always welcome, but we are always looking for people to get involved, roll up your sleeves, and join us to help the families who count on us.
Yeah, if you give me 1 second here.
I can't to buy you enough time, Darren, but I can keep
yeah, you try.
Well, we'll give you a little history. There's an organization that comes on the show every once in a while called the Puccio Foundation. And this has to do with Crohn's disease and yada, yada. And there's a young lady from the state of Washington that she's probably watching. She watches every week.
She watches everything. As a matter of fact, she commented on this and amazing, pink positive,
Oh, love pink positive, love pink positive. Yeah.
We kind of like push that on her.
Great work.
So she loves my chair. She always talks about my chair. So we got her a pink chair.
Yeah.
And she just got it delivered yesterday.
Yesterday. I got to find it. I had the picture. I don't know what I did with it.
Yeah, an amazing Long Island-based organization who's doing such great work across the region and beyond.
Yeah, Brittany has. She's kind of taken it upon herself to do this up in the Northwest, and
she suffered for Crohn's now. What's it? 20 years.
20 years, I think.
Yeah,
hey, Brittany, like I know you're watching. Brittany, can you post a picture of that chair for me? In the.
We're giving you some press, Brittany.
We're giving you press, Brittany. Brittany, please post the chair. Let's see. I'll do this. I'll do it this way.
I shouted out positively pink when I meant to say pink positive.
Yeah, pink positive. Brittany's is pink positive.
Two great groups doing great work.
She sent us shirts, but Norm refuses to wear his.
Oh, she just sent me another one. I didn't get it yet.
Oh, yeah, she sent you another shirt? Oh, yeah, you said that's right. You said your wife stole it. That was
it's my wife's fault.
Well, I got to believe you've already talked on the show about the shirt that's over Norm's left shoulder. Is that something your audience is already aware of?
No, actually, I don't. Adam, I'm sorry. Darren probably is, but if let's say if we can.
Okay, there you go. It's starting to come into full frame. Okay.
That show was from the 9/11 problem that we had. And we did a show. We had 11 groups on the show, donated their time.
That's awesome.
We raised a lot of money. The money was doubled by Newsday Victim Relief Fund. And it's a great shirt. It's a great memento.
Fantastic.
That's what it was. Thank you for noticing, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's.
I don't talk about it too much, even though it was a great thing. It was a sad time.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have to do it, but I did.
Coming up on 20 years next year. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
It feels like many lifetimes ago.
Right. Yeah, but it feels like yesterday when you think about it.
That's true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's that witching hour, Adam.
It's that witching hour, my friend. An hour has gone by. So we want to thank you for being on the show and sharing all the information. I mean, great information, about Cope Foundation. And how people can get in touch, and all of those things. So, guys, if you whatever you can do for this organization, please reach out today. Go to their website. Donate. Money if you can. If you can donate time, get in touch with them and find out how you can do that. And remember, they're national. In the sense that they work with other bereavement groups in your community. If you're not in the New York, region, I'm sure you can reach out to them and say, how can I help in my region? And I'm sure they can connect you with the right people.
That's what the internet's for. That's what we're all about. We can't visit anybody. We can't reach out and touch, but we can certainly talk, and we can Zoom, and we can do those kind of things that can help.
Exactly. So, Adam, we really appreciate you being here. Stick around. We're just going to wrap the show up, and then again, have a happy holiday, and
all the best to you and your family, and to everyone that tunes in from it.
And the same, Darren, the Music Man. Thanks to the Business Power Hour for having me on behalf of all the Cope families and all of our partners and donors.
Our pleasure.
You're welcome. It's our pleasure. Thank you. Okay. All right, my friend. Wow, what a powerful show.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's
a powerful show, and
whatever.
It's
makes me think back.
Now, yeah, Brittany just said in 2 minutes. Brittany, we don't have that much time. We got to wrap the show up.
How about 2 seconds, Brittany? How about 2 seconds?
Yeah, I don't know.
Next week we have a pretty good show coming next week to end our year. The Business Power Hour in
review. So, I was talking to our commercial maker, and it's gonna be work to get that done. So we're gonna do the best we can to try to do the year in review. But you gotta remember, you gotta go through every
extra week. I told him last week, no problem, we got this.
Is that what he said?
Exactly.
Somebody told me.
Or when you wait an extra week to start doing it. And I'm sure that he's watching the show right now, so we won't say anything. We won't mention his name, Chris. Oh, I'm sorry, Darren. We won't mention his name.
Yeah, we won't mention Ready Set Studios.
No, not at all.
No, they'll get it done, but and I have to agree with him. It's a lot of work to go through that because you got to watch all the footage. You got to figure out what.
There's easier ways to do it.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you take a shot at it?
Yeah.
It's easy. You said it was easy.
Well, I can go lend advice, and I can give some ideas. That's about all I can do. What I can also do is wish everybody a very Merry Christmas.
Yep, and a happy. Well, next week. Right. So next week, again, it'll be a year in review type of show. It'll be just me and Norm, and we'll be talking about everything that happened during the year. And Brittany, because we don't have the picture right now, we will show it next week. That'll guarantee that Brittany will watch next week. Not that she doesn't anyway, because she watches every week, but and we thank her for that. And we're glad, Brittany, that you're happy with the chair, and please.
Did you see the footrest? The chair had a footrest.
You spent the money on a fancy one.
I mean, really? You do it right.
No, she's worth every penny that we spent on.
She certainly is. So
all right, guys, be safe. Look, holidays. Be smart about the holidays. This coronavirus is still around and it's still hopping. So,
you can't make it next week. If you can't watch the show, we wish you a very happy New Year, a safe and healthy 2021. And stay protected.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.